whoever. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, how often are you doing your training, one?
Yes.
And two, once you've gone through your training, do you just simply repeat it again? Or do you have additional training that you continue to do?
The basic one, keep doing. Okay? Now, for one group, you don't have to train them for 3 years, 4 years. You just need to be there, make sure it's functioning, and they know it. It's already in their DNA. And the leader, the next leader, they'll pass it on. Okay? So, will you be having more advanced training after that? Yes. We do that based on the feedback, based on whatever we see. That's how we develop our training more and more.
So you go to the group, and then you train the group.
Yes.
And then you go to another group.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Basically, every small group in my ministry, in my sector,
How long?
for the first 3 months. 3 months. And every week is 4 small groups that I have to come. For smaller ministry, they probably have to go to 2 or 3. But my ministry, 4 small groups. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let me tell you, to my own embarrassment, when I start getting into the small group in my own ministry, I realized, wow, you guys have a better leader, man. Now, I'm not trying to put a guilt trip, but I'm just saying this is what I feel. I feel like, wow, I think I'm too high level now.
Wow.
I'm not in touch with them anymore.
Wow.
You know, that was really a humbling time for me, personally. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, could you explain the clarification part? I understand the setting the goal, but could you go through the clarification? Who's doing the clarification, and just kind of explain the context?
Okay, the group. For example, if I said, I wanna have a better communication with my wife.
So that's the goal.
That's my goal.
Right.
So the group, before they give the feedback, they will clarify. Because when I said communication with my wife, it could mean different to me. So they said, okay, what do you mean by communication? How would you know that you already have better communication? Okay? In the past, we have people like, bro, I see your wife is not happy.
Not looking great.
Scary. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, just to clarify as well, first off, thank you so much, Harley. But in the process of growth, you mentioned the person that you are studying with or reaching out to. You said that you include them to do a Bible study as well? Or
No.
be a part of the Bible study?
Okay. You have to differentiate between community that we're building. When I said community, that means people, they're not even studying the Bible yet. But they already start being inclusive in our life or in the life of the small groups that we have. Okay? So they come to our birthday party, they join and watch movie, you know, they come to our house, we invite them, we go to their house, they know our kids, so we start include them in our life. So that's how we build a community. Now, doesn't mean they're already even interested in studying the Bible, but sometimes it depends on the person, okay? If we already start building friendship with people in the community, and we start rolling out to the next place, we start telling them about our own life, talking about gospel to them, and start inviting to come to Bible talk. That's when I see, when people start coming to Bible talk, that's when people start open up to want to have a Bible study. If they're already involved in the community, this is what happened. I don't even have to ask them to study Bible. They're the one that said, hey, I've been coming to Bible talk a few weeks already, and I feel like, wow, these guys study the Bible. How come I don't study the Bible? Okay, well, do you want to? You say that. And it's very organic. Does that answer the question? Is it?
I think when you mentioned the person that you're reaching out to, they're part of the community.
Yes.
And you are, they've gotten to that point where like, I want to do the Bible studies, and there maybe 3 or 4 times you've gotten together and sat down and opened
Yeah.
the Bible with them. Did you? I might have heard you wrong, but I thought you said after that process has started, then that person is now.
The person is not joining any other Bible study for other people. They don't do that, okay? Yeah. Because they can give a wrong advice. Very dangerous. They don't do that, yeah. So when I say inclusive, doesn't mean that you just make everything. We don't put people in charge. So they are not in charge. For example, when they are part of community, they join the Bible talk, they could be one of the guys that sing, but they are not the one that's actually in charge or not leading the singing. They can do the photocopy or whatever songs, but they themselves are not in charge. Okay? Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I wanted to ask, how do you select your leaders, your small group leaders? In the past, we've looked for a certain skill set.
Yeah.
But with this approach, it feels like that you have great confidence that the Spirit, God, can move in incredible ways in a lot of your members in the church by this model.
Yeah. Very good question. They definitely have to select the leaders. Okay? Now, you have to see the gift that God gave to us. One of them is the gift of leadership. Now, not everyone can really lead a small group. But they can definitely, if your small group is really functioning, everyone is actually involved.
Right.
But they don't have to necessarily lead. So the criteria that we see is make sure the person is a man of prayer. That's my number one criteria. You see that in the group, they have to be praying. And I see consistently that the leaders that really praying and just go and ask people in this group to pray I can see the ministry really grow. And I've seen the leaders that have talent but not really praying. And in touch with God, the group is just not spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my number one criteria.
Yeah.
Okay? So he himself, number two, the leaders himself have to be able to go and start building community, reaching out to people, and care for people. That's it. If they have that, that's it.
Building community.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much again. So how frequently do your small groups meet? I know that'll be different each place. And what is the weekly schedule for a small group, for a disciple there?
Okay. Very good question. Thanks. We did a survey to the church. Now, again, I don't want you to listen to whatever and just copy right away.
Amen.
You have to take time, get advice, and don't make a change right away. We did not make a change right away. In our own ministry, it started from my own ministry for 3 months. It took 1.5 years for the whole church to change.
Come on.
Okay, so I just wanted to know about it.
Come on, this side.
Yeah?
I got a question.
Okay, wait.
Alan.
I'm distracted by your Hershey. So we did a survey. I think it's good once in a while. If you can do once a year to do a survey in your church, I think that'll be really good. Okay? So that you know what's going on at the grassroots level. So we asked the church, which gathering, which meeting that really is the most beneficial, the most helpful, most building up for you? Sunday service, a D group, whatever. You know what the response we got? The midweek was at the bottom. So we asked the question again. So does that mean that you don't want midweek? People said no. It is the form of the midweek. And they start giving us good reason. Jakarta's traffic is pretty bad. People come to midweek. They arrive at midweek at 8 o'clock to just listen to another lesson. They said, what's the point? We have been having a lot of lessons. We just do not have time to put into practice.
Wow.
So, we're like, good feedback. So we make sure on Sunday we give people solid food. So Sunday, if you know the meaning of first day of the week is for disciples. We change. In the past, on Sunday, of course, we have a theme, we try to give something, but some of it's for people outside, to reach out to people. We stop doing that. We focus on Sunday just for disciples. We have time when we have a Bible talk to go and give more of a lighter kind of version for people outside, more like a relevant study, but Sunday is for disciples. So is it good if people have one deep study on Sunday? That's good enough. Now, this is outside their own Bible study. That is outside of their D group, when the leaders just teach them. So we have to literally train the leaders to even be able to go and teach. Does it make sense? So we change, so we still have midweek until today, but it's in the form of small groups, or few small groups get together. For the church that is the size of 50, we tell them, you still get together as a whole church. It's only 50 people. Okay? So again, you have to do that, ask wisdom from God, get a lot of advice, but when we start transitioning that, we didn't change in the whole church. It starts from my own sector. So our midweek is in the form of small groups meeting. So we do it like, in 1 month we have 4 weeks. So first week and third week is D group. Second and the fourth week is the Bible talk. One is to really focus on inside. The other two is for outside, reaching out to people. And we figure out what disciple needs is consistency. And in 1 year, take aside the holiday, actually every small group can have 24 times of D group. And 24 times of Bible talk. I remember I watched that small group's Bible talk that we have within a year. I've seen this Bible talk that for so many years couldn't even lead effective Bible talk. But because he has done it for 24 times in a year, he becomes good. Just like any one of us, if you preach 24 times in a year, do you think you'll be a good preacher? I hope so. Okay? Yeah. But it's a consistency. And people know exactly. People already know what's going to happen next week. What's going to happen a week after that. So that is what helpful. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and that's it. So
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the...
Yeah. Some people, they do it on Wednesday. For married group, a lot of them do it on Friday. They're small groups. So because Saturday they don't have to work. So they can have a longer time. Friday. Some people take it Thursday. It is beautiful. People just make their own arrangement. Depends on the day when they can really feel like it's the best for them.
That's great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes. Wherever.
So, question I have for you is the relational evangelism. Now, I know that in Jakarta, it's predominantly Muslim.
Yes.
So, how does this apply to people that are religious, as far as being Christians?
Yeah.
Do you apply the same principle to people that are already studying the Bible, that attend church, but you're reaching out to them?
Yes. Same thing. People, religious people, even the church leader. Next month we're gonna baptize one of the main church leader of a big church in Jakarta. Yes. We changed the way we approach this. When we start getting to know someone, when we already become friends, our mistake in the past was we put our position as, I'm a teacher, let me teach you something. We changed that. So we start learn from them. Let me give you an example. We come in with these religious people. In fact, I start loving getting with religious people now. Because when you start asking a few questions, they will start sharing about their problem. How to do that? I got with them and I said, how? I know you're busy, you're leading this ministry and all that. How did you manage your schedule? You have to work, you have this responsibility, and also at the same time, you're very active. He says, how did you manage? I want to learn. You know what they say? Actually, I don't really manage it well. No, you ask them sincerely. Not trying to catch them. That's their fault. Some people, they tell something which is good. And you know what I do? I said, that's wisdom. I write it down. Ask questions. I learned so much from people in the world. I learned about financial law. I learned about so many, about laws, about tax, about medicine, about diseases, about bacteria, about certain attitude that you need to have, and about so many things. I learned. You know what? After that, when I go back, I text them. I said, thank you so much for your time. I learned from you. And then when I meet again with that person, I said, I wanted to know the things that you shared with me last week. I shared it to other people, and that is helpful for them. When I do that 2 times, 3 times, 4 times to these people, you will start seeing the change. One day they'll be like, hey, let me get advice from you. They learn about humility. And let me tell you, it never fails. But when I put myself as a teacher, people already start putting the gun. Wow. I learned from them. I learned so much. Now I understand how the religious people think. I know these certain people, how they think. I feel like right now I connect, I understand. Because for so long, I've been like, I understand how disciples think, but I really forgot how the unbelievers think. For a long, long time. That's why I didn't even know what kind of conversation to start with. I just come and say, what's your name? So have you ever studied the Bible? It was so weird in the past. I didn't even know how to create conversation. But now it is like easy because I know exactly where they're coming from. Does it make sense? And I see disciples right now, in the past I feel like, it's weird. Disciples find it so awkward. You invite people to Bible talk, they're like, weird. But once they become, they're really involved in this, and you become part of their life, you see them pick up conversation easily. Okay? Yes?
So I know, like, I just stood up. Yeah, I know you're a leader. You know, you have to lead, but at the same time, I love how you mentioned that you spend a lot of time in the small groups. You spend a lot of time doing that. But how do you have a balance between, you know, not getting caught up in the details because you still also have to see the bigger picture, right? So how do you balance between those two things as a leader?
Simple. Every week I have my thinking time. Overseeing the region, and also overseeing the churches. I have my thinking time. 1 hour to 2 hours every week. When I do my thinking time, I look at it at a micro level. So that's easy. But my daily thing, people know in my ministry, I get together with a group, study the Bible with people. Let me tell you, I don't know if you believe this or not, but the disciples in my ministry know Harlem, when he's in Jakarta with Vanya, will have 5 studies every day. People know. 5 studies every day. 4 or 5 studies a day.
Come on.
That's my schedule. Outside of getting with the week. So, because of that, they see our lives. Now, I'm full-timer. In the morning, I already get together with people, study Bible with people. Up to noon, I will have 2 or 3 studies.
Amen.
Amen.
Come on, bro.
I have disciples that follow me. I have disciples that, bro, can I go walk with you for 2 days, 3 days in a row? Amen. I mean, join. They see that. So I don't have to go and tell people, go set up study, go do that. When they see that, they need to see.
Great point.
Okay? Yes.
I wanted to ask, we were wrestling in our discipleship group with what do your campus ministries look like? Because you were sharing about how it can take years for people to become friends but like that is like 2 weeks. You get better as you go.
Yes.
But in campus, you've got generally 4 years to work with. So
Yes.
how do you think through that?
Campus ministry and team ministry is pretty much you have a short time, okay, to raise up leaders. Now, in the beginning when we started this process, it takes us longer. When the community become more attractive, it is faster. We used to convert people 6 years to 7 years to convert one guy since the day they joined the community. Nowadays, 6 months, 1 year. Because when they come in the community, they find it like attractive. It's easier for them to be able to just trust to join in the group. Now, with the campus situation, I think, don't think of you have to build like 4 years, 5 years relationship. If the disciples in small group, if they already becoming good at it, it is a matter of months. In fact, it's very effective. We don't have to go and set up the study, try to go and change the study right now because it's rolling. I don't know if you're aware. It's really rolling. Like right now, in my ministry, even in the single ministry that Budi is leading, or for example, another sector, it is waiting list. Just in America alone, just this week, I already have another 3 guys that I've not met that already want to study the Bible. Because it's set up by this guy that's already in the community. They text me. Today, I got another one that said, hey, my friend wants to study Bible. I've never even met the guy. I've been traveling for almost 1 month. Does that make sense? Because it's rolling now.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, so now, if you asked me 8 years ago, I shared this, I'll be like, I couldn't understand that. I could understand. But what I'm saying is,
Amen.
Let it rolling. Let it roll. Okay? But when we make the changes, I don't want you to stop studying the Bible and start, okay, we're going to be building community, and you stop studying the Bible with people. You continue doing that as you're building the community. You need some baptism still, all right? You want to make sure. Because when we transition to this, we did not compromise our growth. We still baptize people, but it's not as much as today. Okay? We are right now in Jakarta, every day we have 1,000 over studies every day right now. 1,000 over studies. Yes.
In all of Indonesia or just Jakarta?
Just Jakarta. Just Jakarta.
So, let me just clarify, okay? Because
Translation break.
I felt like when you said that you were in 5 studies a day, I felt like Floyd Mayweather just like knocked me out, right? And I've been down on the mat for the last 5 minutes, and I'm getting back up now, okay? And so I'm just trying to clarify and understand, where do 5 studies a day come from? How does that happen? And who's free in the day? Like you said, 2 or 3 people before lunchtime.
Yeah.
So like, where are those people coming from?
Very good question. We have people, because in my ministry, we have a businessman, we have a professional. Businessman, they can manage their own schedule in the morning. Actually, it's better for them to start the study 8:30 in the morning. They can go to office around 11. Okay? But for professionals, they'll be doing it in the evening. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So I pack my studies for businessmen in the morning. So by noon, I already got 2 or 3 studies.
Wow.
Yeah. It's every day. You come to Jakarta, you will see that. That's my regular day.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
So, yeah. But because it's rolling, bro, 5 studies, we still have waiting lists. And my guys is studying the Bible already, so I only handle difficult case.
Now you're saying that those 5 studies a day are only the difficult cases.
Like the nephew of this
They have
Press.
1,000 studies a day.
That's my study. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Amen.
Okay. All right.
So I know you've gone through every one of your small groups. Have you gotten to the point where you're training the small group leaders to now train the new small group leaders?
Yeah. They do that.
Okay.
Okay.
You're not the only
Like
one doing
again,
it.
like I said, if you see the box equipped, they still have to be done by the church. Not every small group leaders have the capacity to do that. They just need to. I tell them, make it as simple as possible. Don't burden them. Can you love the people? Can you pray for them and with them? Yeah. Can you go and just build community with them? Yeah. That's it. The training, we can do that at the church level. We can keep equipping them. They don't have to come up with all these things. Okay? Yes.
So the training and equipping by the church, is that done like a separate Sunday class? Is that a weekly thing? Because if you're talking the amount of studies that you're having, the baptisms that you're having, I'm imagining these are huge classes, or it's a constant in-stream. So how do you handle all these Bible studies and conversions?
I will say something again, don't imitate this. Don't change right away. The last time in my sector we had leaders meeting, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
That's Mike Tyson.
You can come. Let me tell you, I realize how much time I've been wasting in the past, having leaders meeting every week. And my leaders don't even know how to study about people. They don't know how to lead small groups. You know why? Because I have in the back of my mind training the leaders so that the church can become 2,000. It's too complicated. Too high level. Okay? So now, but I do train the leaders. For example, in Jakarta, we have a barber, we have a bodybuilders. I mentioned that to you twice a year. I was there. I trained them. Okay? Twice a year. Yes. But in terms of my own sector of 250 people, the last time I had leaders meeting, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Because you're in each small group training them individually. Okay. Okay.
That's my on-the-job training.
Yep.
And I just sit down with them and just get with them and just test it. I don't have a leaders meeting for 250 people, let's go, and you have a leaders of 50 or 100 people. There's no point. But again, don't imitate this right away. I only done this the last 5 years. So don't change it right away.
I have 2 questions. The first one is just a yes or no. 1, do you guys have staff meeting?
Yes.
Cool. 2.
Every week.
Okay, gotcha. Not 4 or 5 years ago?
Done.
Okay.
Because staff is full-time staff.
Awesome.
And we got to keep training them.
I was kind of joking. I was wondering, on a serious note, can you kind of speak on where your inspiration for the shift came, and then what your times with God are on a day-to-day basis, what those are like how you stay inspired and compassionate? Okay?
Yeah, you definitely have to have your quiet time. I never go listen.
What? Tony, you okay with that?
I'll tell you the schedule of our staff meeting. Okay? Our staff meeting will start at 10 a.m. in the morning, and we'll be praying until like 12:30. 12:30. So every week, 2 to 2.5 hours just praying among our staff. Let me tell you, because of that, we're so bonded. We're very close. Oh yeah. Okay. And then we have lunch for about 45 minutes. Then after that, we have meeting. Okay. business as usual, but we have lesson or 40 minutes. That's what we do, and we finish at 3. That's our start meeting. But 2.5 hours, just praying, and we love it. We sing songs together, we pray. And just,
Wait.
yes.
So, can you talk about your times with God, like on a day-to-day basis, like how you stay encouraged and inspired, and like what motivates you?
And every morning, I have my quiet time. So, I have my quiet time at 6. Okay. Is this your question? Day-to-day schedule? I have my quiet time at 6. Okay. And then my first study start at 8 or 8:30.
Yeah, what is that like in that time between those 2 hours you spend with God? I'm guessing you read and pray.
Yeah.
What is that?
What is it like? Okay.
He's taking up to the third heaven.
Full time, bro, okay? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I loved your point that you were making about how you keep your small groups until they split, but that's not a bad thing. Like it's birthing, yeah, my bad, birthing. But in the campus ministry, we have such a high turnover rate, but also such a good opportunity for rapid growth. And so, what would be your thoughts on how to implement that within a campus setting?
That's a good question. I mean, here in America, you guys, it's pretty mobile. You know, people go to this university, they come from different states. So I believe you guys are the expert. You guys are supposed to be expert. So whatever small group concept, get advice and put it in your own context. I think that would be the best answer I could answer. Okay, I don't have in Jakarta people moving from here and over there. I mean, we don't have as much. So, but I can tell you, team ministry, we have small groups, and what we do is even though it's very short, it's only about 3 years, 4 years, when the small group is really functioning, I don't know how to explain it, but when your small group is really functioning, actually 4 years is plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So hopefully you'll get into that one day. And you'll be like, no problem, actually, my school is functioning, 4 years, still plenty of time. Okay? We see our teen ministry right now, we have plenty of time. Even for our campus, we still have time.
Yeah.
Okay? The problem in our campus ministry before is to raise up the leaders.
Right.
Before you raise up the leaders already moved.
Yeah.
You have to go and join the single ministry. But when your small group is really functioning, like I said, it is the best way to raise up leaders. Very fast. Very fast to raise up leaders. It doesn't take more than a year. Okay? Yes.
Just for your model and everything that you've showed here, what are some like key scriptures that's helped you kind of just hold on to like that biblical conviction for what you presented?
Regarding which one? There's many biblical.
Yeah, I think I think the D group specifically, just being able to, I like the one another aspect. And
One another. Just study one another.
Yeah.
There are 50 over verses over there.
So,
Okay, yeah.
thanks.
Okay.
Obviously,
Ask whoever discipled you, okay? Your minister.
yeah. Obviously, in this room or in our fellowship of churches, it seems like this is a different approach than what most of us do. Are you seeing this happen in other places? And if not, why do you think it's not happening?
Very good question. Well, it starts from Jakarta, and then we start doing that in other parts of Indonesia, and we helped out with Japan right now. We're overseeing the work in Cambodia as well. So it's working in other places.
But why do you think it's not happening in other places? Why do you think we haven't?
I think because we are not invited to go to that part of the world. Wherever I go, when I'm invited, I go and share with people. But this is very different because it's a workshop setup. Many people is just, oh, you know what, we can do that, but they don't know the details of that.
Come on.
I think you guys, because it's a workshop setup, you guys have more time to digest that.
Amen.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, you've done this before to other places. I'm just wondering if they have started to do that.
I can tell you from the experience, the reason why, okay, many people just get excited, but they don't see.
Right.
I always encourage people, come and see.
Yes. Come on, bro.
Then you understand. We have people that come and see, they understand, they go back and do that. I don't know, will you came over, right? You see that, you can understand what I'm talking about, at least just a, the glimpse of it. You came a few months ago, you see.
I went to the 2 Bible talks that were shown there, and it was the case. I mean, 70 plus people at these Bible talks. It's amazing.
Real quick, we need to talk more about that because all of us have seen it. I mean, it really is something you have to see. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
But like people actually really like each other.
Yeah.
Like they love being around. I think that's a difference. And I think we laugh about it, but the truth is, some of us in a lot of church, we're trying to get people to like each other. Right. And they don't. And when you go to Indonesia, people from the moment, I mean, you're laughing, you're enjoying. Like you said something earlier where you don't even tell them to come because they're coming. I mean, they go. I mean, you would take us places, and there are all these people there. It almost felt like you set it up at first, like just be here, and it's like no, they're there. So I think if you could share a little bit more about how is it that people just love to be around. I know some of it's cultural, but I know a lot of it's something that you guys have built as well. Yeah. That if we start building here, just starting with that in itself, I think a lot of the rest of the stuff is easier to implement.
Yeah. My ministry. Okay, my ministry is businessmen, professionals. So their DNA arrogant. They basically don't want to hang out with people. They feel like they usually mistrust towards people because they're afraid of being used by people. So, of course, they need to love Jesus, and faith in Jesus, repent, okay? But then when you put them in that environment, you see, I mean, we baptized the president of Lamborghini of Indonesia. Yes. It was 2 years ago, okay? 2 years ago. You met the guy here, okay? You guys met him. He's the president of Lamborghini in Indonesia. Wow. This man was one of the most worldly guys I've ever met. He got like 100 girlfriends. He got a special phone, just have all this. This guy's in magazine, all that. When I get to know him, I walk in the mall with him. I've never met any guy that the girl's like, Bobby! 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 I'm like, man, this guy must be playing around, fooling around with all these girls. So, he got baptized. Of course, he joined the community, got baptized. So imagine this kind of guy, so worldly, but he put them in a functioning family. You see them start blending. They start learning how to think, how to talk differently. And you meet him today, if you come over to Jakarta, I want to tell you, this is the president of Lamborghini, you cannot even tell. Wow. Because you see the guys, he'll be like serving people everywhere. He'll be the guy that go to even the simple, poor disciples, serving them. You cannot even tell. There's a power of small group that can really change people. But it has to be functioning because people will change. Bad company corrupt good character. Good company can really change people's character. You gotta believe that. Yes.
Quick question.
Oh, now you.
How many people, as far as with the community, people that walk away from God, like what is the percentage? Has it decreased since you started implementing community and the way you've been
Very good question.
Thank you.
My ministry of 250 people. I think in the last 5 years, 6 years, I think we only have 2 fall away. One or 2 fall away. One or 2 fall away.
How many people?
250. Now, let me give you stats. Let me give you stats. of third world. In the third world, if you ever to be in the third world before, you know that in the third world, yes, people have a lot of baptism, but also have a lot of following. That was the stats. When we start building this community, we even have hardly any people that follow me. Why people want to leave?
That's right. Yeah. I know you guys did a lot of church plantings.
Yeah.
Did you have a goal over a certain amount of time to plant like 50 churches or something?
Yeah.
Did the things you're talking about, how did that affect your church planting strategy and the effectiveness of those plantings?
It is in line because it's easier for us to raise up the bodybuilders. And the one that we send out is basically bodybuilders or an intern that we train.
Right.
So, of course, you can keep sending mission. Money is an issue. But if we can work on the money, we can send mission to people. So, you can send 3 or 4 missions. And what we learned over the years, when our mistake is we send a mission team. I call it mission team. They got fired up after a year. They feel lonely and they start going down. That's what happened to a lot of mission teams. Yeah. So we created what we call mission tree. So you don't have to be part of mission team, but you can be part of mission tree. So what we do, we send 3 missions. Let's say, for example, in particular year to these places, 3 places. So all over Indonesia will be telling the church, who wants to be part of mission tree? So every year we have about 300, 400 people sign up. Okay? So we have a booth, 3 booths. In this city, who sign up? So people sign up during their vacation time, whatever. So some people take 4 days, some people take 1 day, 1 week, some 2 weeks. It's okay. So we teach them. Before they go, we train them. When you go over there, don't burden the mission team. Don't ask them to bring you here, bring you there, and then they got tired. Okay? You go there to serve. So we train them. So by the time when they arrive, they really know what to do. And so imagine every mission team, they got people visiting them almost every month. What an encouragement. And because of that, we're able to start having a good conversion in the beginning of the church. There's one church in Makassar that we have people visiting, and because of that, their church, at such a young age of their church, they already have a wide spectrum of conversion. Because we have different kind of people going there. So not just limited by the mission team. Yeah.
These guys in the back keep pestering us.
So, Harlan, this is great. Thanks so much for sharing this. So, I think all of us are like, wow, this is great. This is new ideas for sure. What do we do? How did you roll this out? You changed this 10 years ago. How did you start implementing this? What did that look like? We'd love to hear how you did that.
I think I shared already, in our particular church, we don't announce to the whole church, we're going to change it. No, you got to take time. Yeah. If you're a leader of the church, you have to start doing that in your own ministry first. Yes. Don't change the whole church. Okay, it took me 3 months before I could really be able to even get a sense of that and understand what's going on in our small group. Let me tell you, when you really jump into the small group, your own small group, it opened up your eyes. It really opened up my eyes to know. All my leaders meeting, all our training, I don't know what happened. Wow. You know, so, yes. Does that answer your question, bro? You have to start from your own ministry first. Make sure that until it really works. Not all the small group will function, but at least you start having few small groups really functioning.
What are you starting in that small group? Is it the evangelism or like what?
Oh, we start with getting them closer, but also start training them how to really get into the community. But we get the schedule of D group and the Bible talk consistently. When the consistency is built, we have 48 times in a year chance to really train them and help them.
Thanks, Rob.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. So I've got 2 questions. One is pretty simple. When it comes to starting this process with, starting at the Bible talk level, when I'm going back this week, I'm going to go into my Bible talk. I'm going to try and find a way to implement this. How often, how is the time of your Bible talk structured? So literally, for us, I think we all follow a very similar model. We have a big open question, we discuss it, we bring in a biblical point of view, and then we discuss that, and then it's done. Do you guys have an activity afterwards always? Is sometimes the Bible talk just an activity? Like we're just getting together to have fun? Some things about that. And then the other question is just a personal interest. I love the church in Tokyo, so to hear that you guys are working with them is very powerful for me. So if you could even just a couple words on an update on how they're doing, that would be incredible.
Thank you. I think you get advice first. Which church are you from?
Richmond.
Richmond. Make sure you get advice from your leaders first. Don't just go start your own. Just get advice. I don't want to get into trouble. All right. But that's wise. Okay. I appreciate you want to do that. Now, I think a lot of us think, oh, maybe they're doing the Bible talk differently. No, the Bible talk still the same thing. I mean, that's right. Open questions, and people come and all that. I mean, when Ed came over, he led one of them. It is a community.
Yeah.
The Bible talk is still the same, but in the past, our Bible talk is like a program. It's like an event. You bring people in.
That's right.
And after that, try to set up study.
Yeah.
Now it's different. We are building community. And this community knows that we have regular Bible talk.
Yeah.
And they're the one like, I want to come to one.
Yeah.
And in the Bible talk, because they're already part of the community, when they come to Bible talk, they are no more strangers.
Right. Yeah.
They already know us.
Yeah.
So that it's not awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. With regarding the Tokyo Church, I think Tokyo Church went through a lot. But if you go to Tokyo Church, you can see it's a loving church right now.
Yeah.
It's a loving church. You can see people like really embracing each other. And so that's the update. The last update, I was just there about 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For the Jubilee. I think that's the best Jubilee that they had.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's all the churches. And they start dreaming again, a lot of younger people.
That's awesome.
I mean, so, yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah. First off, I'm just really grateful that you're here, and I'm really grateful that Ed invited you to come in. Because I'll be honest, I totally appreciate the fact that it seems fantastical, these numbers. Like, I totally appreciate what you're saying. The first time I came was like 10 years ago, and it really knocked me out. I was like, what in the world? And then, we made a commitment as a church, we would come every year to really study. And I just want to encourage all of us not to take this and to feel like, okay, I need to, get this ramped up for January in order to roll this out. I think we've decided just as a church to take, and I appreciate our board in doing that. Thanks, Bruce. Us really take the long view, because I will say this, guys, in all seriousness, the most convicting group for me to meet with was the businessman's group that you're describing. Because these are high-powered people, but I've never in my life felt more served by them. And and you just wouldn't know. It was really funny. Like, Chris and I went together, and Chris was there, and he was talking about how, I'll never forget, Chris was saying, I wish, I have a hard time seeing rich people really having a heart for God. And I was dying laughing, because these are like multi-millionaire billionaires, and they were like, oh, let's help you out, Chris. Rich people can be spiritual too. And after I told Chris how rich these guys were, he was like, oh wow, that's great. they're like best of friends now, and WhatsApping all the time. So I just think one thing I just want to encourage us as we're here is if it's possible to take some time to go and see, that's great, or just to connect. I think that would be great. But the question I had for you is, what inspires me is not. I'm totally inspired by the small groups. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you raise up the staff, and how Booty and all the others, and just kind of what you're thinking?